Blessed Tuesday, guys. Welcome back to another edition of Testimony Tuesday and continuing with our series of October, Obedience is Key. Today we're going to talk about your obedience affects others. So our obedience to God is not only for us, but it also affects others. And we're going to read about the story of Noah in Genesis chapter 6, verse 11 to 22. And we're going to look at also other people throughout scripture where their obedience affected others. And we're going to read Genesis chapter 6, verse 11 to 22. Now, the earth was corrupt in God's sight and was full of violence. God saw how corrupt the earth had become, for all the people on earth had corrupted their ways. So God said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with such violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood, make rooms in it and coat it with pitch inside and out. This is how you are to build it. The ark is going to be 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Make a roof for it and finish the ark to within 18 inches of the top. Put a door in the side of the ark and make lower, middle, and upper decks. I'm going to bring flood waters on the earth to destroy all life under the heavens, every creature that has breath of life in it. Everything on earth will perish, but I will establish my covenant with you, and you will enter the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. You are going to bring into the ark 2 of all living creatures, male and female, to keep them alive with you. 2 of every kind of bird, of every kind of animal, and of every kind of creature that moves along the ground will come to you to be kept alive. You are to take every kind of food that is to be eaten and store it away as food for them, for you, and for them. Now, Noah did everything just as God commanded him. So we see here, Noah did everything just as God commanded. He walked in obedience to God's command. And what happened? Him and his family, not only him, but also his family was saved from the destruction. So we see here obedience. Our obedience also affects others. How we walk in accordance to God's will affects our lives, our families, the institutions we are in. Sometimes one person can be in an institution, and because of their obedience, that institution is saved, that institution is protected from so many bad things because of one person's obedience. We see again in Joshua chapter 2, the story of an amazing woman called Rahab, where their spies were sent from Israel to go and check, so they wanted to destroy Jericho. But she walked in obedience. She kept them safe. She ensured that she tied what she needed to be tied on their post. And when they came back, they saved her and her family. They actually told her, ensure that those you want to be saved are in your house. And because of her obedience, not her family's obedience, the family was not even involved in her actions, but because of her obedience, her family was saved. Again, we move forward to the New Testament. We see Jesus at the garden crying out to the Lord, Lord, not my will, but your will be done. I will follow and I will obey your instructions to me. I will follow what you have instructed me to do, and I will do it. And because Christ followed the instructions of God, he followed the will of God for his life, me and you are now saved because of Christ's obedience to God's will over his life. We can now enjoy salvation. We can now enjoy reconciliation with God. We can enjoy the restoration of that first relationship that Adam had with God because of Christ's obedience to God's will. Have you been obeying God's instructions over your life? Maybe there are so many people that you're limiting because of your disobedience. Has God been instructing you to start a project or a ministry? Maybe there are some people out there waiting for your obedience, that they may also encounter God, or they may even be shifted to the next level. Have you been instructed by God to start off a business, but you have been fearful or lazy? There are many people who will be your employees who are waiting. Has God instructed you to take a certain path? That your obedience, guys, is not only for you. It's for those that the Lord will surround you with. It's for those the Lord has aligned you to be with. It is for also your families. It is for generations to come. When Noah was saved, he was saved, him and his children. And because of his obedience, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, till date us, were able to enjoy those fruits because of his obedience. Throughout scripture, we see God speaking. We see the story of Isaac. There was a drought and God told him, do not go down to Egypt, stay here. He obeyed, and because of his obedience, his family enjoyed a 30, 60, and 100-fold harvest in a season of drought because of his obedience. Your disobedience is not only affecting your life, it may even be affecting nations. Your disobedience, you're delayed. You know, another thing that I learned, I saw somewhere, that delayed obedience is like disobedience. You know, sometimes you say, okay, God, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what you want, but not now. Let me wait. That's still disobedience. And when I learned that, because I am a culprit sometimes of that, where you're like, okay, God, I'll do it. For sure I will do it. But you want to do it in your time. You want to delay. Your delay is costing someone else. Your delay in working in accordance to God's will for you, in accordance to God's purpose for you, is costing people. It's costing nations. Do not delay in doing what the Lord is instructing you. Your delayed forgiveness, if you're holding unforgiveness and saying, okay, I'll forgive them when I feel like, it is costing. Do not delay to follow God's instructions. Reach out to who you're supposed to reach out. Make that application. Prepare that proposal. Start off that ministry. Do it. Do not delay that obedience. Imagine if Noah would have said, no, God, I may not do it now. God says, start building now. It's like, let me build after 10 years. Let me just build after 20 years when I'm a bit more like founded on things. Let me build at this time. The rain would have found him yet to finish the ark. And what would have happened? Even him and his family would have been destroyed. If he would have delayed, everything would have been destroyed. Even that ark he was trying to build would not have saved him, because it would have been too late because of his delay. So today I want to encourage us and to remind us that our disobedience affects others. Our obedience affects others. A delay in obedience affects others. Everything we choose to do has an effect not only on us, but on the lives of others. That it is not for yourself. No man is an island. How we live our life is not for ourselves, but together, for community. So may we be faithful in following God's instructions. May we be faithful in obedience, because it does affect others. So be blessed, guys. Thank you so much for walking this journey with me. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for your comments. I really do appreciate each one of them. Kindly remember to subscribe and join this beautiful, wonderful family if you haven't. It really does help, and it helps grow us. And we thank God for each one of you being part of this ministry, your support, your love. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Be blessed and have a great day ahead. Bye.